Hey, I'm Diana Taurasi from the Phoenix Mercury, and you're listening to the 3-Point Conversion Radio.
All right, we'll go ahead and open things up again. Limited amount of time. Raise your hand if you have a question. We'll get to as many as we can. I'll start with first.
Hey, so after the game, did you have maybe an idea when you took the mic and addressed the crowd of some things that you want to say to them?
Not really. I kind of hadn't even made the decision that I would address the crowd. Obviously, it felt right to do that in the moment for sure. But I just last night it kind of got brought to my attention. And well, actually, last night it got brought to my attention that there was plans for me to address the crowd and that would be on live TV. So I was like, oh. And then I thought to myself, like, I'm not even gonna think about it. I'm just gonna pick up the mic and whatever comes out, comes out. And I just tried to speak from the heart. There's so many more people to thank, so many more memories to share, things to say. I was really scared to leave people out. So that's why I didn't even like go down that path. But I did want to acknowledge the people who made today possible, who's really made this season possible in terms of our ownership group. So I want to make sure to do that. But yeah, I'm like, dang, I forgot to say like, what's up to my friends and family. But they know, they already know.
Sue, what maybe surprised you about today, and how did you talk on Friday about kind of you didn't know how your emotions were going to be in the pregame?
Yeah.
How did that all go?
I mean, I didn't have any expectations. I just wanted to come in and whatever happened, enjoy it. So it's you know, it's tough to say if something surprised me. I thought the tribute video at the top of the game was amazing. You only catch like every other word when you're on the court, but it looked cool. Seeing different people in the stands. Yeah. And then once the ball gets, tossed up, you're just kind of in game mode with every now and then a look up at the Jumbotron and you see an old highlight from your rookie year and you're like, oh, I guess today is my last game. But yeah, otherwise, no expectations. So no surprises. It was a wonderful, outside of the outcome, it was a wonderful afternoon for me.
Did you know, it looked like it was your family that was lining the hallway?
That's, yeah, sorry. So thank you for, that surprised me. That surprised me. That was the one surprise of the day. Yeah. Usually we come out of the locker room and there's that hallway that's kind of lit up green. And usually there's nobody in there. So all of a sudden there was like all these people. And to be honest, I was like, oh, they have fans lining the little tunnel here. And I was like, oh my God, I know all these people. So yeah, I would say 90% of the people that were out there, I knew were going to be there, but Chris Daly, I didn't know was going to come. So that was a surprise. And it was just really special to see their faces. I'm like terrible at surprises. I've been that way since I was 0 years old. Like I my whole life, I'm terrible at surprises. So I just kind of stood there, got a little shy, shocker. But it was really wonderful to see all their faces right before I went on the court.
Yeah.
Yeah, you and I were talking on Zoom the other day about how the haters of the WNBA, how wonderful was it to see over 18,000 fans celebrating, you, but also the WNBA.
Yeah, those haters, like I said, they don't do it to your face. They're usually in the social media comments. So I don't really consider that group of people to be real in a lot of ways. But what you saw there was very much real. The support, I think, I actually said this to Holly in the post-game interview. I've played here 21 years. I've been here 21 years. So I know my name has become synonymous with this franchise, and it's become a little bit of a household name in this city, in this community. So, even though I take, great pride in that, I take great pride in what we've accomplished while I've played here and great pride in being a member of this franchise. I also think today was, and this isn't me like shying away from the spotlight in any means. It's really not. My name is synonymous, but what I represent is all the players who have played here, right? All the championships we've won, all the coaches who have come through, everyone who's come through the front office, everyone who's, been on staff here, you name it. I'm just that one name. So I think today was, yes, an honor, in honor of me, and people showed out for sure. It really was amazing, but I think it's really and truly a celebration of Storm basketball because I am kind of Storm basketball.
Sue, you
You mentioned that once the tip off came, that you were able to put all that behind you, but how hard was that not to take those emotions?
Yeah, I actually think I've had experience with this, every big actually felt when we ran out on the court, it felt a little bit like senior night in college. You have this big ceremony and your parents walk you out and it's all emotional. And then it's like, oh, you got to play this game. So in some weird way, compartmentalizing this wasn't that difficult. Just like I said, like a little moment where you glance up at the Jumbotron and it kind of all comes rushing back. But outside of a few moments of feeling the emotions kind of build, in those 40 minutes, I didn't have to fight that off too hard. I'm like, I don't know what that says about me, but.
So you said, that you wanted to thank all the people who made it possible, but we're in this arena, it's packed, and that's mostly because of you. Your excellence over 2 decades has really turned this city into a women's sports mecca, right? Without you and what the Storm have done, probably there's no NWSL team here. Probably UW doesn't sell out and eventually go to the Final Four. What do you think your impact has been? And how have you watched the city grow into this incredible space for women's sports?
Yeah, man, I've never thought of it like that.
A lot of people, I think.
Yeah, I've never really sat down and thought of that. I'm not trying to shy away from it. I do think you have to give a little bit of a nod to Seattle Reign, who came before all of us. Obviously Karen Bryant was a big part of that, and then a big part of bringing WNBA team. I think really what's coming across in my head right now is just a player myself who was here for a really long time and was really consistent. So you kind of always knew what you were going to get from me. Sometimes I have some friends who kind of tease me about it. They're like, you just go look at your stats. It's like, there's not much change there, year after year. And I think when you have a player like that, who's in the same city for as long as I've been, even in like year 10, right? It doesn't have to be 21 years. You just, you can attach to it. You can connect with that person. You can connect with the teams that she's playing on. And I think the fans here have done that. And they've connected with a lot of players through the years. They were connected to Lauren, connected to Tanisha, I could go down the list, connected to Stewie and Jewel now. But I was obviously that one constant and that one consistent constant, I guess. So with that, yeah, I guess it was easy to latch on, and then out from there, you can branch out and become fans of, UW, which of course you got to give Plum tons of credit for that moment. But I see what you're saying. Just my presence in the city. Like I said, all these players, a player like Plum, the NWSL team, obviously you have Megan on it. All these players, they're doing their own thing. It's not about me, but I kind of kept it going for a little bit there. Not just myself, but we kind of kept it going for a little bit there. So it's nice to know that I helped create opportunities, if that's the case, because that's
it's all you for the record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, she's being kind. But yeah, I think, something that I feel really passionate about as I retire and kind of go into retirement is, hoping that women's athletes don't have to fight for scraps, right? We always talk about how we only get a little bit of the pie and trying to build that pie. So it's not fighting for scraps. So to know that, and again, I never thought of it this way, but to know that I was already doing that as an active player is something that I don't know, I think I'll hold close, because it's literally what I want to do when I retire.
Go to Hunter and then Mom.
So you mentioned there'd be a long list of people to sit down and
Yeah.
provide to thank you. Do you have any other celebrations planned, or you can wait till the end of the season to kind of sit down and have those talks and celebrations?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I have no other, we have some stuff planned tonight, so that'll be fun. Good luck for that Chicago game. I'm gonna throw that out there right now. I'm 41. It's good luck. But yeah, no, we have some celebrations tonight, and there's definitely people, once I decided to retire, there was, and I've talked about this already, but there was like a short list of people that I wanted to tell directly before I announced it and they heard it publicly. And in those moments, I got to share just how I felt with certain people on a personal level. So I know they know, but I think it is important to acknowledge people publicly as well. And I just have a feeling, I don't know, there'll be something where I'll get the opportunity to do that.
How do you feel on your retirement night, to see these two young players having such standout performances and about kind of the league being in good hands?
Oh yeah, I mean, that's always been a part of, not just my legacy, but I feel like my generation's legacy. I just did an interview, it was actually about Sil, but we were, talking about like our generation of player. And, the WNBA has turned a corner recently, right? In the last couple of years in terms of popularity, in terms of notoriety, people talking about us, covering us, the storylines, you guys know, marketing opportunities, you guys are very aware of that. And that wasn't always the case. But the one thing we could always count on was the product on the floor was going to be amazing. And I personally feel, and I'm sure I have bias, but I personally feel that that generation, and I could sit here and name names for days. That generation of player, we kept the league afloat. When we weren't getting the money, we kept the league afloat with our play. And I think what that has done is allowed these players now to have these amazing opportunities. Not allowed, that might not be the right word, but we kept it going enough that when things did turn the corner, now these young players are ready to capitalize on it, which is amazing because that's what's going to take. You always have to pay it forward. You see it in every league, not just women's, in men's leagues as well. So, to see Stewie, Asia dominate tonight. I mean, obviously they've been like the two MVP candidates for the last couple of years, the two most important players on USA basketball. So it's no surprise. But it's exciting to know that we have players like that who can kind of take that torch and carry it. And they're going to have to set it up for the next generation. That's just how it works.
See, I mean, we take some pride, not to little this, but not what you did, but how you did it.
Yeah, I take great pride in that. I think I am who I am out there, and I relish in the fact that teams have to game plan for me because I'm not the quickest. I'm not the most athletic. I'm not jumping over you. And yet maybe not in the last couple of years, but I know for a really long time there, you had to talk about me and shoot around. You had to try to figure out what to do with me and shoot around because I played it my way. I used my smarts. And then of course, I could shoot a little bit, I could pass a little bit, all those things, don't get me wrong. But I think I wouldn't say I'm unique in any way. I think what I do, a lot of players can do, but I just found ways to always be consistent with it. And it became a mind game out there. And that's when I would thrive. When teams try to take stuff away, you pick up on it and you counter it. And that's where I would thrive. So I am really proud of how I did it. And, this is actually going to be like a play on your word. It's going to be a little different though. But, Coach Auriemma drilled into me that basketball wasn't a game of how to. And what he meant, he's actually saying what you're saying. What he meant was it's not a game of how to dribble, how to shoot, how to pass. It's a game of when to do those things. So when you say how I played, it's actually knowing when to do those things. And that I think is the story of how I played this game.
Kevin? What I was thinking there was the fact that you're still fighting back and got a little help from Mark.
Yeah, we saw that. We all saw that. Yeah, it does. Listen, Vegas is a really good team. I think, myself included, we made a lot of mistakes that were in our control. 8 points I don't think really tell the story. They just kind of extended it there at the end. And we get to see them again. And while I would have loved to have gotten a win on my last night, I said it out there. I didn't win my first game either. So maybe it's a sign of good things to come. So that turned out okay in 2002.
It's a similar question to that, the idea that, how do you feel now? We kept saying, how do you feel at this tribute to this moment, but
Yeah.
now that it's all kind of behind you, how do you feel? And how much is it affected by the job that's still on the table for you guys going forward here?
Yeah, it's really, it's been nice to enjoy today. And it's been wonderful to see the tributes and see the fans, and see my jerseys in the arena. It's definitely been, probably the most memorable game of my career in a lot of ways. But yeah, it's like, at the same time, it's like, okay, we leave tomorrow, we go on the road for a 3-game road trip. We'll figure out who we're playing. It's like, we're still in the mix. So I think really all it does is it kind of holds off my actual emotion for how I feel about the end. Cause I know I have more to play. So that's kind of the balance right there.
Landon, and then Tim, we'll go take some.
So we know the statue's coming eventually. But would you like to follow in Derek's footsteps and get silhouette on the court at some point?
And who's? Dirk's?
Yeah. Silhouette on the.
I'm like, didn't everyone think I was the WNBA logo for a while? We'll just let that live like that. No, I have no. In whatever way, I mean, I have no thoughts on that, to be honest.
You've never been offered a flower during it.
No, that was the sweetest. She was so cute. I understood that she was like showing me the flower and that it was for me. And then I was like, oh, you want me to take this? So very quickly I picked up on what she was doing. I was like, okay. And then I was like, oh, can you just hold this just for a second until I'm done? That was very sweet. It was very, very sweet. And it's the first time.
We'll take a few on Zoom, real quick. We'll start with Eden. Go ahead.
Hi, Sue, Eden Lassie, Just Women's Sports. You've touched a little bit on your rookie season, but I was curious kind of what that Sue Bird would think of this one and everything that you've accomplished on and off the court.
Yeah, I think she'd be proud. I think she'd be surprised. I've spoken about this before. There were no players that had 20-year careers. I mean, I don't think there were players at that time that had 10-year careers. And that's all. I only say that to say there wasn't this model to copy or emulate. You know, you have Michael Jordan who won 6 rings. So what do you always hear about when players in the NBA are talking about, you know, legacy and what it means and what you achieved? Oh, Michael Jordan had 6. You know, somebody set the bar. And I think now we have players and we have franchises who are setting bars because they have had the time to do that. But when I was a rookie, who was I really going to aspire to be like in terms of a really long career? I mean, I didn't even know how long I wanted to play. It wasn't even a thought process. So I think 21-year-old me would be surprised that I'm still going. Not because she didn't think I had it in me. I'm like talking about myself a minute. Not that she got a little lost there. Not that she didn't think we had it in us, but she wouldn't have even thought those things. She wouldn't even thought those things. So I think she'd be, you know, really proud. And she's, you know, she's still inside here. She's still inside there.
Let's go to Chantel Jennings. Go ahead, Chantel.
Hey Sue, Chantel with The Athletic. Fans have traveled to see you play, you know, for all of your career, but this year especially, I know fans have traveled from all over the world to see you play and you've had a chance to meet some of them. What has that been like for you? And has it changed at all how you see your impact and your reach in the game?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know. I didn't know I had fans in Thailand. I didn't know I had fans in Mexico. And I didn't know I had fans literally all over the world. Every now and then you might, you know, come in contact with somebody, especially when I was playing overseas, right? When I was there in person. But to have people take the time out to fly to Seattle or anywhere else we've played on the road this year to, you know, really just to have their last moment, their last chance to see me play. Because they've probably only seen me play on, you know, a computer screen streaming a game or something is wild. It's incredible. It speaks, I think, to the growth of the WNBA big time. The fact that it's getting to that global, you know, level. And yeah, I mean, I can't really. 21 years is a really long time, and there's a lot of people out there that grew up watching me and they're now adults and they can buy their own plane ticket and fly out here, but they literally grew up watching me, like literally at 5 years. If someone was 5 years old, I mean, they're 26. So it's pretty incredible. And I think it kind of ties back into what I've already talked about with the longevity and that being a huge part of my legacy and just being synonymous with women's basketball in general.
Thanks, Chantel. Let's go to Christos. Go ahead, Christos.
Hello, Sue. First of all, happy Sue birthday.
Thank you.
Maybe we can remove the city from Seattle to Seattle just for today because of you. I would like to ask you, when you hear the crowd during your presentation before the game, what were the thoughts and the emotions that you had showing all those fans in a full packed house? Did you feel that this is the moment for me?
Well, it was incredible. I mean, from the moment I walked out to do like pregame warmups, like pregame warmups, there was an energy in the building. Already tons of fans in the building. I could already see my jersey and different, shirts with my name or my face on it. A huge face of mine, like a bat head cut out. You start to see it right away. You start to feel the energy right away. And then, of course, as our team ran out for team warmups, it already felt like the place was packed. And usually that doesn't happen until the ball is tipped. So there was a lot of anticipation. I felt it too. And it was just exciting. It just felt really good. I'm always tentative to use the word closure because I don't feel like I'm like closing something or I'm like walking away from something. I think life is just going to change. It's not over. Like I'm still going to be a part of this franchise, even if it's just as a fan, but I understand the playing days are almost over. So this has been really, I don't know, she's put a nice little bow on what has been an incredible gift. And that gift has been playing here.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Thanks, Christos. And WG, go ahead.
Hey, Sue, Willie Ramirez in Las Vegas. You've had a couple of veterans join the team this season, and I want to get your comments. One, Bree January has sort of chaired this farewell tour, and I'm curious if there were ever time you went to her and sort of talked about, since you both were on this final journey. And then Jontel joining the team. She's a veteran. If you've come to appreciate her game in a different way as a teammate, if you could just comment on those two, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's been really fun sharing this retirement tour with Bree, to have somebody else who's going through the exact same things as you at the exact same time. We've shared a lot of pregame moments together, right? Where a team honors her and then they honor me. Excuse me. So it's been nice because I'll be honest, like I don't really like the spotlight like that. So it's been perfect, a perfect little balance. As far as Tell goes, yeah, I mean, both of them really are they're vets, they're professionals, they take care of their business. Tell, her role on the team has evolved as the season has gone and it's changed. And you need to have somebody who is a vet, who does have that maturity to, continue to show up every day. And that's what Tell has done. Nothing has changed in terms of her approach to the game, in terms of how vocal she is, how supportive she is, her energy. That has not wavered. And I know she's ready at all times. And you need players like that. As you go down the stretch of a season, you head into the players, you need players that are ready to come in the game and change it at any given moment.
And we'll wrap up our time here with Kevin.
We've heard the building. Have you heard from Chris Daly yet about successfully pulling off the Super?
I thought about her immediately, and I will be 100% telling her that when I see her. I cannot wait. I thought about her literally immediately, and I know she thought the same.
Great. Thank you, too.
Thank you, guys.
Everybody for joining us.